in the most kind of northern tip, right, of Newfoundland to a town called St. Anthony's.
It's not the end of the world, but you can see the end of the world from there.
Yeah, it's pretty close. And when we think of festival in the States, we think of lines for the beer taps, and we think of people bumping into each other, events. And we think loud music. Not at the Iceberg Festival. Really, after the tour bus left, it was Steve and I in St. Anthony. So much so that we stopped at a wharf to take what I thought was a very quaint little photo of a beautiful little wharf, but it was very, very tiny. And all of a sudden the door opens to the little fishing shack, and Steve and I get invited into a smorgasbord of food, and a cup of coffee and tea by some locals. And we spent...
And dried fish called Kaplan, which
we'll talk about more later, because we had another opportunity to have an experience with Kaplan. But it was a very quaint little festival. We did see icebergs, as you can see.
We understood about half of what the people were saying with their Newfoundland accents.
Yeah, and we'll show you a little bit of that a little later as well, too.
Yeah.
We learned a little bit about icebergs.
Yeah, we did.
Also.
We learned some things that surprised us.
Yeah.
One that we kind of knew is that icebergs, when you see them, they're maybe 10% above water, maybe more, 90% below. Kind of knew that because of the Titanic and icebergs and all that stuff.
And you were in the Titanic.
And I was in the Titanic.
And you sank.
Died. Yeah, I sank.
Yes, on stage.
Yeah, I died on stage. I've died on stage when I've actually been alive, too.
Yeah.
But that's another story.
Okay.
But anyways, the thing that surprised me is I thought the icebergs that made it here had calved, C-A-L-V-E-D, off of the West Greenland coast this year. Turns out, actually, they're 2 or 3 years old, and they float gradually at about 1 kilometer per hour. And we're seeing 3-year-old icebergs that finally just survived and made it to the Newfoundland coast. Between May and June is when the prime season is for seeing them. And we saw a bunch of them. We'll show you some cool pictures.
Yep,
for
sure.
Wait, I got to get something out of the fridge.
Oh, yes. And also we discovered something in Iceland. It is actually in our refrigerator, and it's not a piece of an iceberg.
Oh, no. Did I drink them all?
No, it's way, way in the back, Steve.
I can't find it.
Okay. Sit back down.
Oh, wait, I got it.
Okay. So we discovered this in while we were in the Iceberg Festival. Iceberg beer. It's made from icebergs.
It's written backwards because when we do the selfies, they come out backwards. But it's Quiddy Viddy iceberg beer from St. John's, Newfoundland. We're going to have that later. Yeah, made with iceberg water.
It is. And it's actually really, really good.
And we've got some that we're bringing home. So if you want to try it, you got to come visit us in
over.
Fremont.
Yep. Okay. All right. More later.
Yeah.
So the next day we went and visited the Viking villages, right, that were just outside of St. Anthony, and learned an immense about the Vikings while we were there. Yeah.
It is a National Historic Site and a UNESCO site where they actually discovered ruins of Viking encampment from about 1000 AD, so about 500 years before Columbus. There was somebody else who
that does challenge the whole theory.
It really does.
Columbus,
sorry, Gigi, I know you're a big fan of Christopher Colombo, but and you're named after him. But anyways, he was a latecomer. But nonetheless, we went to an amazing recreation of the Viking settlement called Norstead, Norstead. We saw the Snorri, which is a replica Viking cargo ship that actually was built and sailed from Greenland with a crew. Some maybe 10 or 20 years ago. There's a documentary reportedly about that as well. And Linda got to try her hand at blacksmithing, which was great.
That was actually a lot of fun. And we learned, how they dyed their wool, for instance, to make their garments.
And single needle knitting, which Linda's going to actually that was learn how to do.
Viking knitting. I don't guarantee that. But it was a Viking knitting process that was very time-consuming. But it was fascinating to watch them make it, and the garments that they made were very tightly knit as a result
Right.
as well too. So we learned that, how they cooked, their hunting process, all of those things. It was really well done.
And for Rich and Tova, we'll sign off with a Norwegian toast. Skål.
You're going to confuse me.
No, you got it. Take a breath. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. It's a fine morning this morning. If tomorrow morning is like this morning, it'll be a fine morning tomorrow morning.
So before we left St. Anthony's, we went out for a night of music and a screech-in.
Yes.
At a place called Skipper Hot's. And Steve will tell you what that's all about.
Yeah, so Skipper Hot's was a great local place, and they had some traditional Newfoundland music going. And they recognized immediately what amazingly talented musicians we were and invited us both up to play the Ugly Stick.
The Ugly Stick.
And you'll see what the Ugly Stick's about in one of the videos.
We've attached, actually, a video of Steve playing the Ugly Stick, as well as Linda, whom they did not really recognize that I had rhythm, but the process was you had to pass on the Ugly Stick to someone in the audience after you were done playing with it. So, Steve gave it to me.
I gotcha. Right. And what else did we do at the Skipper Hot's?
We did Screech-in.
We did Screech-in, which is a traditional rite of passage for those who came from away, and we came from away, to be initiated as true Newfoundlanders. So the Screech-in, Linda's going to tell you what that entailed.
So the Screech-in involved our learning to speak like Newfoundlanders. It involved our kissing the cod. We had to also drink the screech as well. And was there anything else?
No, and we have
that was kind of it, right?
We have an official signed document that we're now official Newfoundlanders.
We do. You'll see that. Yeah. We're posting that as well too.
And I'm going to take a stab at learning how to speak as a Newfoundlander.
Yeah, it was hard.
So this is what a Newfoundlander might say to a neighbor when they come out and it's a beautiful morning. They would say, "It's a fine morn this morn, isn't it? If tomorrow morn be as fine a morn as this morning is a fine morn, then tomorrow morning I'll be saying, this is a fine morn tomorrow morning."
Very good, Steve. As close as it's going to get.
That's about it, yeah.
All right.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Yep.
Two old sweaters signing off again.
Go home. I never go home. And I feel so broken. I wanna go home and play. What for the daddy-o?